Here we
All
go.
right.
Waiting for all of the things to align.
Oh my goodness.
I always try to fill the empty space in case there's some wonderful person out there listening to me. Make sure I'm not like saying anything inappropriate.
Well, that we can't really always judge that. You know, it's funny because I do think that people, you know, they sign on as it shows up in their feed, and as of right now, it's only showing up on our business page. That's why I need to move it over. So just give me one moment to do that.
Sure.
And I will ask you, first of all, can you believe it's Monday night? Like, how did it get here?
I really can hardly believe that.
God, what a crazy weekend. And then
there's not even a little bit of me that believes that.
Yeah.
How was Easter? Easter was amazing around here. Yeah. Rained, but we did our Easter egg hunt inside. You just pivot.
Right. Well, and you have little ones, right? I'm just clicking and
yes, the grandchildren make it all worthwhile. Yeah. It's fun anyway, but we do brunch, so too. And I love breakfast foods.
Join us. Oh, you did a brunch? Join us.
Easter egg hunt, Easter basket hunt.
I think brunch is nice because then you don't have to, like, we did a dinner and then until you clean everything up and it's late and then we had to drive home.
Yeah,
and, it's kind of
tricky with a Sunday holiday.
I just said that to Earl last night.
Those Easters seem to always fall on a Sunday.
Yeah, that's true. And did you know that Easter is determined by the moon? It's not determined by a date. I always found that very interesting. It looks like some people are starting to show up. Let me just check one other place. Okay, so just give me one more moment. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Yes. Hello to everyone. Happy Monday. We reached over 840 members in our Grace and Grit Studio group. So how great is that? Welcoming them as we come in. And I believe that there was quite a few, like 20 today, that we welcomed around lunchtime. So that's kind of cool too.
All right. For them.
I think. Oh, hello, everyone. Yes. Okay, perfect. So let me pull this drawing off the bottom because this is from when I go live. I'm sorry. So there we go. Okay, perfect. So we do want you to comment. Let me throw this banner up so you can comment live or replay to let us know that you're here. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for popping in. This is our regular Monday night. So we get to do this every Monday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing our executive company.
Pleasure. Yes.
It is a distinct pleasure. Interviewing our executive company vice president, Mary Grace Lewandowski. And she talks about her organization and what Park Lane is about and, why it's fantastic and things of that nature. And you were most likely invited here by a stylist from this organization because they felt that they wanted to give you sweet abundance. That's something I talked about today in the group. We talked about walking into a day filled with sweet abundance. And that's what we do. We share our opportunity, and it is an abundant blessing for many people. So you were invited for that reason. This may be something that you listen to and you're like, it doesn't fit my need, or it could be something that you have your interest piqued. And if that is the case, we would love for you to talk to your stylist.
Also, a lot of people I learned later, like they listen to it maybe because their rep asked them to, or they would have wanted the chance to win the free jewelry. But we understand that a lot of times that's why people listen, but a need or something can change. And you're so glad that you had listened because you thought, I know what I can do, right. So yeah, it's great.
I love that. And I also love that, they listen. And then, if you're here because you love free jewelry, who do you know that loves free jewelry and would love a chance at this? Because we do it every single Monday night consistently.
And I have to apologize because some of you won't care and don't know, but I'm realizing that I did not post our winner last week, and you guys look for that stuff. So I will post 2 winners, one from last week and one from today. So when you fill out that Google form at the end of our call, that's all we ask. The price of admission is that you have to listen to me. But at the end of the call, when you fill out your Google form, I will be picking a winner within 24 hours. So be sure to fill out that Google form. And I apologize for missing you last week.
I appreciate you saying that, and we'll make sure that's posted by like Wednesday of this week. So we'll
Yep.
get that in. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to ask Mary Grace 4 simple questions about what we do for a living. They're the 4 most common things people ask, and we're going to ask that you just listen in. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is pop in the comments right now who invited you here. Please tag your stylist, let her know you're here, him or her, and just have some good conversation back and forth, because chances are if you're here, your stylist is probably here as well. So I'm seeing a bunch of names coming through. I think we're good. Mary Grace, let's get started. And let me ask you one of the most important questions, because we constantly drop the direct sales is what we do for a living. And I'd like you to know, to answer to these gals and guys, why direct sales? Like, what is it? And how does it differ from the other term in the industry, which is multi-level marketing, or MLM?
Yeah, they do intercept a lot. And DS, DES stands for direct sales, and MLM stand for multi-level marketing. Now, something that I've never said before, but which is remarkable, is that Park Lane understands that the 2 businesses are alike in some ways, and that they're both businesses we run from. We run our own businesses. They're like people and relationship based and all that good stuff. So Park Lane will recognize we hire people in based on their experience, and we will recognize multi-level marketing, MLM experience, and we will plug you into a title that's commensurate with what you put into that and what you achieved. However, in reality, direct sales and multi-level marketing are very different businesses. Multi-level marketing's emphasis is on recruiting. I think you have to spend quite a bit of time in front of your computer watching, making sure that everybody's getting their products every single month, that their credit card is being hit, that their credit card went through. Direct sales is direct to consumer. So our emphasis is on sales. Our emphasis isn't on necessarily collecting a bunch of customers that continue to buy month after month after month. We're always looking for new ones, but we're also taking care of our old ones. Okay. So it's like we're a liaison between the company, and we have all different kinds of ways in which we can show our product. Direct sales here in our organization right now, 78% of our peeps are totally online. Okay. Right. Other people, we used to only do in-home shows, but it still is a model where it's based on a show. It's still a show-based model where ideally we want to reward a hostess for gathering her friends together, whether it is online or in a home or whatever, rather than just one customer at a time, although we can do that as well. Okay. So, but we have the hostess program in place to reward our hostesses. That's what makes direct sales so different. When I first was introduced to direct sales, when I look back after even just the success I had in the beginning and everything else, I'm so glad that no one had used that term with me, because I think it's misunderstood so often. Yeah. That's when you hear these things like, is that one of those pyramid schemes? And I'm like, well, from what I understand, pyramid schemes are illegal, for one thing. Okay. No, nobody on the top is making money from people off the bottom that aren't making any money. And direct, we'll talk more about Park Lane in a little bit, but you don't have to be here in the beginning to do really well with Park Lane. You would do really well no matter where you come in, and we've been around for 75 years. Direct sales, in a nutshell, is all of the benefits of running your own business, none of the overhead and none of the risk. That is what direct sales is. And it is a way, and I always want to make sure I get this out there, because another thing I hear all the time, if I even say, you should consider this. Oh, I already have a job. Okay. Or let's say they lost their job. I go, you should consider this. Oh, I need a real job. Okay. You guys, the beauty of this is that you can work it around whatever your schedule is. If you already have another job, good. So did I when I started direct sales, but I loved that I could work this around the hours that I was already keeping. You lost your job, not good, but consider, because you will still have the time to continue to look for a job if you want one, and be where you need to be. And this will get you out into the world with people. And where there are people, there are possibilities. So for neither of those reasons, I just can't allow you to just shrug it off for either of those reasons, because no matter what, you're going to make money and you're going to leave here with more than you came with. So definitely consider direct sales, because we can all use extra money, even if it's to invest. We can all use the tax write-offs. When you run your own business, the tax write-offs are enormous and wonderful.
Yeah.
So there is always a reason to consider a foray into direct sales. Always.
Now that you've talked about all of that, I'd love for everybody to put in the chat, like, give me a number one in the chat if you've worked for a direct sales company before.
Or
Because
multi-level marketing.
Yeah, or multi-level
Yeah.
marketing, because I find that really fascinating, because there's a lot of women and men that dabble in it.
Yes.
And I always like to think, and I love when you said, if you lost your job, it's not good, but it's a good way where there's people, there's possibilities. But I have to tell you, the other thing in my mind is it's really a bridge position for many people, where it bridges the gap between time. And the flexibility allows you to do that as a direct seller. So I find it fascinating. So now that we've defined what DS or direct sales is, and we've defined the differences within other marketing, in the industry. Why jewelry? Like, where does jewelry fit into all of this?
You know what, Janine? You and I weren't as smart as the Levine family.
No, we weren't.
When we joined direct sales, mine was 25 years ago. I got to look this up. I used to talk about it every week and I never double check it. When we went into direct sales, it's kind of like we fell into it. Like we happened to be at a show or enjoy a product or whatever. I have no regrets. It's how I learned it. I learned a lot at my other company. But the Levine family, who started our company in 1955, they were sold on the direct sales model. They wanted to be able to help other families build wealth, not just their own. I'm so grateful for that. But they were really smart, and they hired consultants from 3 separate companies to come in. And I love their words. They said, go and do your homework and come back and give us your top 3 product recommendations and be prepared to defend your answers. I just always love that. So these 3 guys, they were guys at that time, 1955, come back, and all 3 of them had jewelry across the top as number 1. All of their other, choices varied, but jewelry was number 1. The other part I love about this story is that the Levine family were very taken aback. That is not what they were expecting. But then they heard him defend their answers. And that is the reason. And now I've lived them. Janine's lived them. Bunches of other people on this call have lived the reasons and the positives of selling jewelry. So there's so many positives from the customer standpoint. Whenever you're going to market something or sell something, you want an audience, right? Well, think about it. Jewelry's been around since time immemorial. I don't know a time there wasn't jewelry. With the very first time people put clothes on, there was probably jewelry, right?
True.
Or maybe even before they put the clothes on, they put the jewelry on. And there is a $43 billion forecast for it in the next. Accessorizing is just going up, up, up. Okay, so the audience is there. The audience is there in its variety. You have everything from men, women, ages, any demographic is an audience for jewelry. One of the top 3 gifts in the world, candy, flowers, and jewelry, okay, withstands the test of time. Like I said, been around. And people don't get where they're like, oh, I have a piece of jewelry. I don't want any more jewelry. Okay, so it's plentiful. It's considered a consumable product because it changes with the seasons, with the outfits, with the trends. I've lived that too. It's absolutely wonderful. One of the only products that sales actually not only stay the same, but very often go up during economic hard times, okay? Because people maybe are going to hold off on a house or a car, but they're going to buy a piece of jewelry, all right? Sure. So it works out just really beautifully. From a personal standpoint, I can't imagine ever being in any kind of job that didn't involve some sort of servitude or for other people. I'm not the greatest, that's not that I'm trying, I just can't. And I just love the fact that jewelry does so many remarkable things for people. It really does, you guys. It sounds ridiculous, but it's proven. Raises serotonin levels. It's the number one compliment catcher. It's the number 1 conversation starter. So I see a lot of really good, wonderful things come from this, especially because ours is so reasonable. And then from our standpoint, all of these things are wonderful for a salesperson, but it's very inexpensive to ship and store. Sure. Park Lane has millions of dollars of inventory in their Chicago warehouse. So the tariffs and everything that we're hearing about hasn't impacted them. If we want to just ship or store stuff, it doesn't take any space in our house. So, and we wear our product, but so do our customers. So the referrals back to us from people just living their normal life is like unbelievable. It really is. So it just makes our job easier. And also jewelry kind of sells itself. I mean, obviously it helps that we're there, but we don't have to be as much of a performer as I felt I did in my other company, because if you just offer to people that they can play in your jewelry, the entertainment value is there, and they're off and running.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of positives, and not training, where a necklace goes, where a bracelet goes, it's not nutrition or skincare where you have to kind of study, or candles is what I used to do. You had to kind of study. So many benefits. And if you hadn't thought of them, I just put them in your head because I hadn't thought of them last go around. So very cool.
Well, and I think what I'm going to ask everybody who's watching, which there's a ton of you watching now, thank you so much. What I'm going to ask is, why don't you drop in the chat what jewelry does for you? Let everybody know what jewelry does for you when you put on jewelry. I know for me, I personally feel I'm put together once I put my jewelry on. The cliche is the icing on the cake, the bow on the present. But I do feel more put together. I've certainly...
Except this little, I'm going hiking after this. Well,
and you have...
Yeah, a late night hike. And I just have this little teeny tiny necklace on, but it's something,
Now listen, Mary Grace's hikes might include stopping somewhere for wine. So let's not, nobody get nervous that she's a little fibber.
I'll park far away.
But what I will say is I feel like absolutely naked without my earrings on. If I go out without them on, it's like not wearing your wedding ring when you're married. It's very strange,
Yeah.
So I just, people are dropping comments in the chat and I'm loving it. Okay, so now that we know what direct sales is and why jewelry is such an integral part, why Park Lane? Like, where does Park Lane fit into this? This
is where, you guys, it's just, we're the best kept secret and the most wonderful direct sales company to work for.
Right.
I heard of 2 companies going out of business this week, direct sales. They fall because they're not as diligent and clever as Park Lane's been with their money since 1955. They've been around for 75 years, 70 years. And that is a really great thing, especially in today's world. And you don't have to be one of the first to make a fortune here at Park Lane. You can come whenever you come and you're good to go. We're cash rich, we're debt free, we're very secure. We get paid every week, which is super expensive for a company to do, but they do it for us. So people could start this business and have a paycheck next week. I mean, it's like immediate gratification. So longevity, smart decisions, cash rich, all that good stuff. But also the fact of our variety in jewelry. I have noticed that most every other jewelry company has a market, and we talked about market in the earlier question, of maybe it's mostly pearls. Maybe it's mostly bracelets, mostly silver, mostly crystals. You guys know what I'm saying? You miss out on other people whenever you narrow anything down like that. We have something for everybody, from minimalist to maximalist and everything in between. And my customers tell me that. They're like, I love this because no matter who I invite, no matter what their taste is, there's always something. Our programs, the customer sale. I mean, my gosh, buy 2 for regular, get 4 for half. Spend $90 and get your most expensive item for $35. You don't have to memorize that. You learn it really quick, especially when you're a customer. It's just absolutely wonderful. And the part I love about it, again, back to the servitude thing, is my customers are so absolutely thrilled when I share the sale because they're getting so much value. My hostesses are so thrilled to share it with their friends and family because of the value. And quite frankly, I'm super happy with every sale because our average sale is over $100. And I get paid commission on this stuff, as do you. So so when people would say to me, like, I'm going to do the $5 jewelry. Hey, I'm not cutting that down. I understand the draw at first, but just imagine how much harder you have to work, or many more pieces you have to sell, right? In order to make the same amount of money we have here. And then we have that wonderful guarantee. So people are leaving happy. It's all so good. Our hostess program, most generous in the industry. It is not based on what people sell.
Nope.
It's not based on the number of sales. So like I used to be a teacher. So my very first candle party or any party that we ever had, we hardly sold anything. We didn't have any money. So when I got a percentage of what for the hostess stuff, I can remember thinking, I think I spent more on my chips and dip than what I got. Here at Park Lane, it's based on number of orders. People can just collect an average number of orders and they're going to get free stuff per order. And our average hostess gets anywhere from $300 to $1,000 in free and discounted jewelry.
They sure
Most
do.
other companies, when you're finished with the party, maybe $100 would be really good. Maybe you get a couple half price items. I kid you not. But with us, like they're like, what? You know, so it's really cool. I had a husband actually say, honey, does this jewelry belong to some of these people that bought from your party? She goes, no, that's all mine, you know, because boxes and boxes. And then we are the most generously paid in the industry. We truly are. That's like a fact. So why would you not come where you're going to make the most money? Not only do we get our commissionable sales, but we get weekly bonus, monthly bonuses. We have a car program. We have 2 vacations a year. We get free jewelry every single month. You can't really, if you are buying jewelry, you should be selling our jewelry, because imagine buying what you buy, but also getting a paycheck every week, 30% back on what you just spent, or 50% depending on where you fall. So I cannot tell you enough about this company. And I'm going to tell you something. Okay. One of the success principles is just to lean in.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to try something. Will everybody love it? No. But will you leave with more than you came with? Yes. So you'll never know unless you try. I'm very big on that. And in worst case scenario, keep the money, keep the jewelry, come back to being our wonderful customer. That's it.
So Mary Grace, if somebody would sign up, are there any quotas that they have to meet?
No. And every company has quotas except for Park Lane. I mean, every direct sales company that I know of has quotas, but we have no quotas. You can do it as little or as much as you want. If you leave for a few months because you have a medical emergency or whatever, you come back at the title that you achieved. So there are no risk factors. Like, in fact, that in itself is a wonderful way to become part of our company, a wonderful reason.
100%.
Because most of our jobs, even just being a mom or whatever, not just, but you know what I'm saying, whatever our job is, most areas of our life come with stress. It's nice to have something that does not come with stress. It comes with recognition and joy and pay, and no pay if you don't feel like being in any amount of stress that week by even selling the necklace off your neck. Okay. So yes, it's just, there's so much joy here and very little tension or stress unless you put it on yourself. So no one else is putting it on you.
There's the word. There's so much joy here. Like we could go on for hours and hours. We're already 23 minutes in.
I can't tell you how many people tell me that that's the biggest thing they got out of this was being part of a group of people that lifted each other up. We're happy for each other. It's very joyful community. Yeah.
And talented people in your organization. And I think that when ladies and gentlemen are listening to this, maybe for the first time, or the first couple times, because, you know, people listen to us over and over, they kind of do the creep. And I love that because like, then they comment and like, I finally get them out of their shell. But, you know, I think when people listen to this for the first time, they don't realize like the amount of longevity and the amount of years that you have on your leader team.
Hundreds.
You know, hundreds of years. I'm 30 years in the industry. I mean, literally.
I think probably someone's out there right now. I didn't mean to cut you off. But I am the executive company. No.
That's why I said you're fine.
Somebody's out there right now. And one of the hesitations that they're having is they don't know what to do. Don't worry about that.
Shouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah. Yep. You'll learn it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And you're not going to be thrown to the wolves. That's the best part about it. We lead with the carrot.
That all worked out for you. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And there's going to be somebody in this organization within your lineage when you sign up that is going to help you. It's going to be the person that signs you. Then that person's going to help that person. That's what we do here. So if you're looking for something that you really do want to sink your teeth into, we really encourage you to consider talking to the stylist that sent you here today, that asked you to listen to this, because we know for a fact that what Mary Grace said about you leaving with more than you came with, it happens. And it happens a lot. So with that being said, why is now a great time for these guys and gals to sign up?
I just covered that. Like, whatever reason that
You
you're
did.
thinking, like, maybe I'll do this later. Honest to gosh, you guys, you should just do it now. I hear things like, when I give something, I want to give it my all, and I can't give it my all right now. Well,
Yeah.
that may be true, but imagine that you're just dipping your toe in the water. You're getting a little bit of the feel, you're learning. And then when you go full force, the learning part, a lot of it is over. Now, all you're going to do is really throw yourself into it. Okay. So now is always the time. We have a new capsule coming out in a few weeks. That's always really a productive time, a wonderful time. And we just had a new capsule drop. So it's a change of season. I feel like this season is taking forever to change across the world. It's like, so what are we going to get today? Winter or summer? And could we please have spring? So whenever you're in a change of season, one of the things people start to change up is their accessories, because they still have to wear a parka, but they can wear their pearls.
True.
I don't know. And we're offering
Don't have a jacket
extra.
on.
So the cost is $129. For the $129, you charge it or whatever. And for that, you get to pick out normally $500 worth of jewelry. Today, it's $600 worth of jewelry. Okay. So that's really fun. It also just covers whatever you would need. Like, Park Lane doesn't charge us any extra charges. There's no monthly credit card. They don't charge us for credit card usage. They don't charge us for, like, my last company was $17 a month in order to use their website and stuff. No, the $129, you're done. You're it.
Right.
You got all that plus your jewelry. Now, here's the secret too. What's the best way to start? Have a show, right? I mean, my gosh, you want people to know you're doing it, right? Maybe you're a little bit shy or embarrassed to tell everyone you're doing it, or you don't know how. That's why we do your show. We do your show, and we let everyone at your show know that you're their new jewelry contact. Anything that happens at that show is all about you, even though we're doing all the work. You get the hostess credit in addition to the jewelry you just picked out for $129. You get the paycheck instead of us. And worst case scenario, you have this show, and at the very end, you go, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I will be happy to keep your paycheck, or whoever does your show. Okay.
Right.
So it's a no lose situation to at least book the show. And what better way to see, like, what kind of response would I get? You know, what kind of response am I going to get from people and stuff? So, and then since you got paid for the show, that $129, when it comes due on your credit card, you paid yourself back and then some. So we're not really, I can't say it's a no cost startup, but it's so many ways it really is. You know, it's just making a little investment up front, having your show and getting your investment back. Yeah. So honest to gosh, you guys, when people like are so scared of the risk, Park Lane are the ones that should be scared. They can't afford to give away $600 of jewelry for $129, bunches and bunches and bunches of times a day just for the fun of it. They want to invest in you. They want to know that they are offering you this ability to make this side income and enjoy what we have to offer. So that was a pretty strong recommendation, but one of the things I find as I get older is just people getting out of their own way and being willing to take a chance on something, because it will pay off for you. Here, anyway,
I think you just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
it's getting out of your own way.
Yeah,
it's getting out of your own head and realizing that the gal or guy that asked you to come here tonight thought that highly of you.
Yes.
That they wanted you to listen to this and they wanted you to contact them about it.
We want you.
We want you. All right. Well, listen, we are getting so many comments. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate all of you. Super excited and stoked to be here tonight. And we will be back next Monday night at 7 p.m.
Next Monday night. I'm going to go hike off to the wine bar now.
Yeah, she's going for wine, guys. She's going for wine.
I'm kidding.
But what I do want to just reiterate, because you did mention it, was you will pick last week's winner and this week's winner, and we'll have it out by midweek this year. Yes. So we're going to have two jewelry winners.
I will be pouring over Google Forms this evening. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm sorry. That form is in the description. It is in the featured section of our studio. And you can snag it there and fill it out as soon as you can. All right. Thank you so much, Mary
Thanks,
Grace. I really
everybody.
appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.